a hand. Michael, where are you? This is an incredible evening. I'm very honored and humbled to be up here this evening to see all these great football players and people that gave so much to Grant Park High School. It's not easy playing football. It's not. Nobody ever wants to go and bust each other in the mouth for 2 hours every day, but these guys did. It's easy to go home and play video games. But their commitment, sacrifice from the players, the coaches, and the managers is commendable. I'm very honored this evening to be up here. I'm going to bring up greetings from Mike Kennedy, and then we'll start rolling through our agenda this evening, and hopefully we can get done, because I know a lot of us are Jets fans.
I got the privilege of standing out there as everyone was kind of coming in, and it was, I was thinking to myself how lucky I was to see all these formerly boys coming up and are now men, and I was enjoying myself, but I couldn't help but watch all of you guys get to reconnect with so many people you probably haven't seen in a really long time. So I just have a couple words to start with here. Tonight we gather not just to celebrate victories on the field, but to honor the people, the passion, and the legacy that have shaped the heart of football at Grant Park High School. Whether you're a player, a coach, a family member, a supporter, or part of the school's leadership, your presence here tonight reflects the community and commitment that makes this program so special. You know that there's one thing that never changes about football and the players as we come together in times like this, is that every former player swears that they were a little better, faster, and tougher, and more disciplined than any player that puts on a pad nowadays. But it's the beauty of those football memories. The touchdowns get a little longer, the hits were a little harder, and somehow the coaches yelled a little louder. The further we get from graduation, but these stories, they're all golden. So tonight, whether you're at the table with your old teammates or catching up with coaches and friends, tell those stories however you remember them now. Stretch the truth a little if you must, because this is the night for it. Let's celebrate those legendary moments, real or enhanced, and thank you for being part of this celebration and this reflection. But before we continue, I'd like to just take a moment to recognize a couple individuals who have meant a lot to this football community. Firstly, Darrell Glorieux. Darrell was a player with a rare blend of heart and physicality. He wasn't the biggest guy on the field, but he played like he was. He was fearless, always willing to take a hit, never back down from a challenge. But what really stood out about Darrell was his spirit and that he loved the game. He truly loved the game. Though life has taken Darrell in a difficult direction, tonight we remember him for the energy and the brotherhood he brought to his teammates and was one of us, and always will be. Ron Gustafson. Ron was a pillar of this program, a longtime coach at Grant Park. He was my former head coach, the commissioner of the Winnipeg High School Football League, and a key figure in the expansion of this league. His fingerprints are all over the growth and success of high school football in this province. He wasn't just a coach, he was a teacher, a mentor, and for many of us, a true friend. Ron had the rare ability to challenge you and support you at the same time. He made you better on and off the field and in life. Some of you may remember that the last time we held this Hall of Fame back in 2014, it was Ron that stood here presiding over this evening, and it's hard to imagine him tonight not being here. Ron passed away this past year, but his presence is still felt in this room and in every coach, player who carries forward the values that he stood for. As we reflect on the lives of both Darrell and Ron, we're reminded of the many ways this game brings people together, not just on the field, but across time, through shared memories, mentorship, and the moments that stay with us. One was a young man who played with passion and fire, the other a leader who helped shape the very foundation of this program and this league. Different roles, different chapters, but both part of our story. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to raise a glass in honor of Darrell and Ron, to their memory, their impact, and the lasting spirit that they leave behind. To Darrell and Ron. Now with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Coach Kovacs.
those stories get a little stretched. We never lost a game. We just ran out of time before we kicked their ass, right, Coach?
Right.
I'd like to call up Duncan Anderson to bring greetings from the Anavets, a big sponsor of our program. If you've seen the past couple years, our program has worn the Anavets rocker and logo on the back of our helmets and all our t-shirts. They've been very generous in providing the hall for us and financial sponsorship over the last couple of years. In the first game of every season, we play a salute to service game to honor the veterans of the Canadian Armed Forces, and we wear these camo jerseys, as you can see in our players back there. Thank you. Duncan, come on up.
I was told to make it short, and anybody who knows me from Anavets in previous years knows that my speeches are never short. I'm pleased to be invited to this special evening and would like to give you a short history of Anavets, Manitoba Northwest, and Rockwood Unit 3, and the Winnipeg High School Football League. In the late 90s, Tom Monroe, the president of Rockwood, which is, you're in right now, in Rockwood, turned around and decided he would get involved with the Winnipeg High School Football League. And at that time, he generated, the result of this whole thing was, he created the Anavets Bowl in 2000, which some of the people in the room right now are very familiar with. They might have even played in finals of that at some time. And so this year is the 25th anniversary of the Anavets Bowl, which would be something special for all of us. And I'd like to see Grant Park win the damn thing. As a part of the lead up to the bowl in the city, Manitoba Northwest units in the city will host a press conference on the lead-up week to the Anavets Bowl, at which time they discuss the whole issue of the thing coming up. All the press interviews are done at that time. And then on the day of Anavets Bowl, we turn around and we send out a color party. We have the pipe band there, and we turn around and take part in the coin toss, take part in the celebration afterwards by presenting the trophy to the winner. Now, with Tom's passing in 2017, Manitoba Northwest then decided to create an Anavets Bowl Most Valuable Player Award, which we have been doing ever since. That's presented every year at the Anavets Bowl. Somewhere during this exposure to the Winnipeg High School football, I met Doug Kovacs and others from Grand Park Pirates. And Rockwood 303 became a major sponsor for the Pirates for 22, 23, and 24. And we continue to support them in kind by helping do fundraising things like this. We made our building available to them for meetings, et cetera, et cetera. This is our commitment to the Grand Park Pirates. The ironic thing is that when we got involved in this, it was amazing. We've done a lot of work with Manitoba Sports, the Winnipeg High School Football League. We had never sponsored an actual team, and we had one right across the parking lot from us. So that's why we picked Grand Park. They were close. And no doubt we could invite them over for a drink once in a while. That was my motive. Actually, that was my motive. Doug's motive was something else, I don't know. My motive was to get him to come out. This relationship with the Pirates did and still includes Rockwood 303 attending the season opener, at which time we bring along a pipe band with us, and of course, the popular Third Cav Motorcycle Club. And when they grabbed those bloody bikes up, they sound like a bunch of pirates shooting off cannons. And I was told this just a couple of weeks ago that we now have a mascot, which is a steer.
Highland cow.
Well, it's a steer for me. Anyway, this, I assured them that I hope they wear earplugs, because when those bikes rev up, the steer might get excited and attack somebody. During this time, during this relationship, a number of the coaches have joined Anavets, Rockwood 303, and I'm very proud when I see them. We talk to them, to discuss things with them because they are comrades of ours. They are true comrades in all sense of the word. They come down to see us, they come to visit us, they come down to things like the functions we run, right? That's, and in which case we can exchange ideas and that sort of thing at that time. I also have a very soft spot for Grant Park High School. Since my youngest daughter, Storm, attended there from 1991 to 1997. And no, she did not play football. One of the boys asked her, did she play football? I said, no, she did not play football. She was in the arts program. And her experiences there were guided in the arts program by a person by the name of George Bodolowski, Robin Dow, and Dave Gibson, who is no relationship to the Gibson that is now one of your coaches. I just want to clarify that. Anyway, with all of this said, I wish you all the best for the evening and look forward to being present when the Pirates are presented the Anavets Bowl this year. Woo! Thank you very much.
Awesome. So good to see so many Hall of Famers here from the 2014 class. I have Sam Gabor. Where's Coach Gabor? Could you stand up, please?
He's at the Jets game.
Yes, okay.
He'll be back.
I know. Steve Silver in the back there. Dr. Will Turk. Where's Will? Right there. I have Craig Ferentz in the back there, probably the best player in the 1990s. I think that's the alumni that are here, maybe. Anyways, I'd like to call out Craig Ferentz. If I missed you, I apologize and I'll buy you a drink. I'd like to call out Craig Ferentz here to bring greetings from the Hall of Fame committee.
Good evening, everyone. Again, great evening. For everyone who doesn't know me, my name is Craig Ferentz. I was lucky enough to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, well, I guess 11 years ago now, dates me. Again, I am honored to receive that award. I am unworthy of this award, but I'm thankful that I'm here tonight. Coach Kovacs asked me to say some words to the inductees, and I'm grateful for that, so thank you for letting me do this. First off, I want to thank the coaching staff for putting this event together tonight and the alumni. Without your tireless work, sacrifice, and this day wouldn't be so special for all of those getting inducted today. So again, thank you for that, and please give a round of applause to everyone. Next, I want to thank, before we thank the inductees, the parents, the teachers, and all the guardians here. Again, you dedicated so much of your time and sacrifice to making us successful. You pick us from practice, helping with schoolwork, getting us out of jams. Again, everything. You've given so much to Grant Park football, and it should never go unnoticed, so thank you. All right, let's get going. The inductees, we gather here tonight to celebrate remarkable athletes and championship teams. Again, it's an honor to be inducted into this. I'm truly grateful for that. But again, that is carved out through sweat, sacrifice, passion, and heart. And that's, I think, what we call Grant Park football. It's something you're going to carry with you for the rest of your lives, and no one can take that away from you. So, getting inducted into any Hall of Fame is a huge accomplishment, but it's not about records broken. It's not about trophies. It's not about touchdowns. It's about moments and what we've learned over the years that make us who we are. It's about putting the team first, and again, having a greater goal. Again, those skills that we learned, leadership, determination, what happens when you lose, right? How do you recover from that? Again, those are all things that we gained from this game, and especially at Grant Park. And again, that's one of the biggest accolades that will help you forever. So, again, all of you getting inducted tonight, it's about representing Grant Park and the pride that you take for the future for everyone who wants to put on that jersey and continues to wear that jersey today. I see some young bucks in the back. Again, that's who we're doing this for. So from that, football's given us all these skills, and it's very important that we continue to use that. You know, I was going to talk about grit. We'll wrap things up here, but I think with Grant Park especially, pride, determination, and again, raising the flag. So all those things we've learned, it's going to carry with you today. So inductees, congratulations. You didn't just play, you elevated your play. You reminded us why we love football in the first place. Every snap, you gave us something to cheer for, something to believe in, something to talk about. And again, it's that where you gain those skills of courage. Greatness like yours isn't achieved alone. There are some extraordinary players here tonight, and that's a phenomenal accomplishment. But we have 2 entire teams getting inducted tonight. And that is, I think, the most remarkable thing. Again, the team is bigger than the whole, or bigger than the individual, sorry, and that's what makes us stronger. And that's something that we need to support the team and give back whenever is needed. So, tonight, you take your place amongst Grant Park forever. Let this enshrinement weigh on you. You all have the responsibility to carry going forward, right? And you were all very deserving of this. So congratulations, you've earned this, and not just with your talent, but with your determination and grit. So thank you, and welcome to the Grant Park Hall of Fame.
We went from determination and grip to books, balls, toughness. Upon induction into the Hall of Fame, on the side here is a pirate flag that's being displayed, and our former sports information director, Samantha Keene, is here today. She will be taking your picture in front here. So when your name's called, you'll come up and you'll receive your award, your helmet, and your certificate, and then you'll have a picture taken, and then we'll move on to the next inductee. The first one here is Marshall NAylor. Marshall NAylor is the only two-time, Marshall, I'll call you up in a sec, don't worry. Is the only two-time ever Defensive Player of the Year for Grant Park High School. He's an incredible, incredible football player. And my favorite memory was that exhibition game where the Portage tailback was going off tackle and they whistled it dead. And you stood there in the hole and you gave him this. It was arguably the most intimidating thing I've ever seen. I'm going to call up Graham Smith here to present Marshall NAylor into the Hall of Fame.
Coach apparently forgot my name, but for those of you who don't know me, Steve Silver, Graham Smith, I was his linebacker coach. He was our defensive coordinator. Before I turn it over to Graham to give the actual speech, I just want to congratulate you. Probably the toughest kid that I've ever coached, and I don't mean the toughest physically, I mean the toughest kid to coach. And all the guys who coached him know those first 2 or 3 years. Yeah, you know. Anyway, he evolved into one of the greatest linebackers Grant Park has ever seen, and we're just waiting for the time when he decides to make another great decision in life and come back and keep continuing to support the program by doing what I did and coach a couple of kids for a few years. So with that, congrats, man. We love you. I'll turn it over to Graham to actually say something seriously.
Well, good evening, friends, family, and pirates. Tonight we gathered to celebrate the excellence, the dedication, and success of the 2011 Grant Park Pirate Championship football team. That team exemplified all the important qualities that it takes to be a Pirate. And there is no one who better embodies that and what it means to be a Pirate than Micheal NAylor, who's standing right here next to us. Not only did Micheal finish his high school career as the Pirate all-time leading tackle leader, but he was also the soul and captain of our defense that helped us to an 18-game winning streak and a championship. Micheal wasn't just an athlete who played football, he was someone who lived it. He studied the game, hit like a freight train, and inspired every teammate around him to be better. Game in and game out, Micheal set the tone on defense and led by example. Micheal was a relentless force, a trusted leader and a player whose presence alone changed the energy on the field. You always knew when 52 was out there, and the opposing offense always did too. But there's one moment that will forever live in the lore of football Pirate history. And we just watched that moment probably about half an hour ago when it was up here on the projector. It was the championship game against Miles Mack. Tight score, in fact, I think maybe even was tied. Momentum was hanging in the balance. And then it happened. The snap goes up, flies over the punter's head, and like he'd done all season long, Micheal found the gap, burst through, and as the ball sailed over the punter's head, Micheal tracked the ball into the end zone, scooped it up, and got a touchdown. That play was a defining turning point in the game, probably the turning point in the game. And it came from a player who always gave more than 100% when the team needed him most. He was a playmaker, and it showed in the biggest moment. Off the field, Micheal led with a quiet confidence and an unshakable drive. He trained hard, he studied film, and he inspired his younger teammates with the same intensity that he brought every down. That's the kind of legacy that lives long after the whistle, and that's the type of greatness that we're celebrating here tonight. Tonight, we don't just celebrate a career, we celebrate a standard. The standard of what it means to be a Pirate. And with that, it is our absolute honor to induct Micheal NAylor into the Grant Park Pirate Football Hall of Fame. Micheal, thank you for your heart, your grit, your unforgettable contributions to the team. You've earned your place among the legends. Welcome to the Hall.
No, you gotta talk now.
I gotta talk now?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You gotta get a picture with you guys out.
You never did this to us.
I'll keep this pretty short and sweet. Not much of a speech guy, but I just want to say thank you to everyone for inducting me, and the coaches, and especially thank you to all the teammates. Without you guys, nothing would have happened, right? So, yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and yeah, thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Since Micheal's graduated, the locker 52 remains as the captain's locker. Players have to vie to be the team captain. The 52 stands still over the locker next to the stereo because that's who's in charge of aux. So this year, Sebastian Weisgerber was elected as the team captain. We've had quite a few players just like Micheal, but it's a very valuable locker. Congratulations, Micheal. Coach Kennedy. Our next Hall of Fame inductee is Michael Ritchott. If I could have him come up here. It's with great honor that I have the privilege of presenting to Michael Ritchott into the Grant Park Hall of Fame. When I first came to Grant Park, Mike was a lanky sophomore, but the talent was evident and immediate. On the field, I could see he glided with ease. His biggest asset was vision. He could see the whole field, and he was a smart football player, always with a smile. The thing I admired most about Mike was not only was his football ability, but also as a leader. You never had to talk to Mike about leadership or commitment. He just did it. He made Grant Park football the priority. He set the tone for the team and demanded that others reach the standard. His hard work and dedication made him great. He prioritized training in the off-season and sprint work. Our athletic director, Glenn Bruce, ran a sprint training club, and Mike was there. When Michael did it, his teammates came along, some willingly, but others followed because if Mike was doing it, they did it. He set the tone and made sure others followed. He listened to his coaches, he got better. He went from a lanky kid to a muscled up dynamo. It was actually very easy to coach because I would just say, Mike, go in there and score a touchdown. And he usually did. Whenever he touched the ball, he was dangerous. It was easy. You get him the ball, let the magic happen. This led to an 800-yard rushing season and 15 touchdowns in his junior year. In his senior year was a league and Grant Park record-setting 1,255 yards on the ground and 24 touchdowns. Mike is the only two-time WHSFL Offensive Player of the Year. Like many of our Hall of Famers, we have immortalized his achievements by putting his jersey on the wall and having a legacy trophy made. What made Mike special was his ability to perform when the spotlight was on. The bigger the game, the better he played. We saw this throughout the playoffs, and we'll see this throughout the evening. When CKY came to do a feature on him on the Sports Star of the Week, Mike had one of the most incredible runs I've ever seen. I had Coach Jost find it for us, and I believe it'll be displayed throughout the evening. Mike is arguably the best player of the 2010s. He's the only two-time winner of the WHSFL Offensive Player of the Year award. Michael went on to play for Junior and then the Manitoba Bisons and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He was just a joy to coach. He was part of the resurrection of Grant Park football, and he was our guy. Congratulations, Mike, on your induction into the Grant Park Hall of Fame.
It's on the phone. It's new age, you know.
That's actually a way better idea.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I stand here deeply humbled and profoundly grateful for this honor. This moment transported me back to those transformative days at Grant Park, where football became my lifeline. And I'm thrilled to share these milestones and memories with my coaches, my teammate, and my family members here tonight. First, I want to thank my mom. Without her, I wouldn't have even made it through high school, and I promise you that. Let alone becoming the man I am today. She was my biggest fan, cheering me on through every step of my football career. Her open door welcomed so many Pirates. Half of the team knew there was always a welcome spot at my house. That created an incredible environment where young men, not just athletes, they became men. My mom was always feeding us, always guiding us, and always having my best interest in heart. I'm so proud of the man I am today, and I wouldn't be that without her. To Coach Kennedy and Bruce, thank you for shaping me into the person I am. You taught me that hard work pays off. You shared lessons far beyond game. Through long talks and countless hours, you molded more than a football player. You prepped young men for life. Your teaching on resilience, adversity, and victory still guide me today. Some of the most rewarding and frustrating lessons were learned in those walls. Thank you for seeing the potential in me when I wouldn't even have saw that myself. To Coach Kovacs, your guidance often saved me from myself. You elevated my understanding of the game to new heights. Because of you, I was consistently ahead in football IQ, no matter where I played, and I played many years after high school. I still believe our high school practices had more structure and vision than many of the programs I encountered through many years of football. And to the many other coaches that helped me shape who I am and the other men on this team, Your job doesn't go unnoticed. The game is so grateful for all of you people who keep this game going and progressive. To my oldest brother, Ryan and Dayton, you've been my anchors. You've kept me on track through and kept me accountable for many years. To my brother Ryan, you kept me accountable and taught me what it was from a young age to always handle your business no matter the circumstances. Dayton, I wouldn't even have been the player I am today without you. You showed me how to channel emotion on the field, play fearlessly, and commit to countless hours of training, to pick up football, to basketball, to weight room. You pushed me and so many of my teammates. Beyond that, we are so grateful that you were able to train us and many of my teammates too. To my fiancée Caitlin, thank you for being by my side. Grade 10, we've been together. We celebrate our 15 years this year. We're getting married. You've never discouraged my dreams. You've always pushed me to be better and support every step of the way. This October will be our 15 years. Having such an incredible life partner has been instrumental to my post-secondary success. Today we have a child, a family, countless blessings. I want to congratulate her. She actually just passed her NCLEX for being an RN. She's a blessing to our family. Finally, I want to thank the incredible group of guys I played with at Grant Park. Those are some of the most unforgettable moments of my life. What made our team special was a rare magic, a group of people willing to lay it all on the line for each other. That brotherhood is rare in football, but when it is achieved, it is guaranteed success. I played many years beyond high school, but I learned as a teenager that the unity we had was a recipe for winning no matter what. Not just in football, but in life. The same guy I called best friends back then are still the men I respect and consider the same to this day. Seeing all these faces amongst you, the crowd, I feel as if I'm amongst a group of family. I'm truly honored for this achievement and thank you guys. I truly would like to just thank everybody that's contributed and been a part of the success. It definitely does not just take one person. It's been such a big lasting factor in my life and it shaped so many young men in this team, and I know that these lessons and everything that's taught here carries such a long way. I thank everybody that's contributing to that. Can I get a round of applause just for everybody? Thank you. That's awesome. That's my helmet. You think I'm dancing it still? Yeah.
No, my safest helmet I ever played football with. I played football so many years. I was like, give me that every year. And then they gave me something else. That's the first time.
As part of the Hall of Fame, each player will be given a Hall of Fame jersey. And Michael will receive his original jersey that he wore during his And Marshall, we didn't read the agenda properly. Your jersey's up here as well.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate the kind words. This is why we do it, so that you guys learn life lessons. I also appreciate your comments about practice structure. I believe Coach Gershman called it, what this week in the text group? Psychotic regimented practice plan? It was something like maniacal regimentation or something like that. Anyways, ChatGPT helps you out with a lot of things nowadays. Marshall NAylor is being presented with his Hall of Fame jersey and his original game jersey. Follow the practice plan from now on too. I'd like to call up Chris Danforth here to help present Derek Peters into the Grant Park Hall of Fame. At the end of Chris's speech, we'll be having a video presentation.
Good evening, and thank you so much for being here. Tonight is a special one. We are here to celebrate some amazing people who've made...
It's on the short setting.
It's on the short setting.
Yeah, you need the taller setting.
All right. Good evening, and thank you so much for being here. Tonight's a special one. We're here to celebrate some amazing people who've made a big impact to Grant Park football. And right now, we get to honor my good friend for over 40 years, Derek Peters. Inducted into the Grant Park Hall of Fame. I'm incredibly proud to be the one welcoming Derek into the Hall. His story was all about hard work and a love of football, and it inspired many of us along our way. I first met Derek when we were both 13. Back then, you could tell that he had something special for the game. We ended up playing on a bunch of teams together, the Crescentwood Grizzlies, the Fort Ridge Packers, Grant Park Pirates, and the St. Boniface Warriors. No matter the team, Derek always brought his A game. He was a leader, a powerhouse, and someone you could always count on. Derek played both sides of the ball. He played guard on offense and was a force as a middle linebacker on defense. Defense was really where his heart was, and it showed. He won the high school League Defensive Player of the Year award, and during his time there, he played through injuries, and I remember him even fitting into a little back brace just so that he could get out on the field and practice and play the games. That's how tough and dedicated he was to the game. Game days were something else around Grant Park back then. You see Derek would walk the halls with his spiked, bleached, lightning white hair, wearing his signature 44 jersey on. It was this energy that just lit up the place, and you knew he was ready to give it everything he had, and he always did. So tonight is my absolute pleasure to welcome my friend and teammate Derek to the Grant Park Hall of Fame. Derek, your legacy is something special, and it's going to keep inspiring players for generations to come. So everyone, please join me in giving a big round of applause. So Derek lost his voice, tonight, but he did tape a nice video message that we're going to see right now. Thank you.
That's actually what it's supposed to sound like.
Love it.
Hello everyone. I'd like to thank the Grand Park Pirate alumni, current staff, the Hall of Fame selection committee, all my friends and family who've come out to support me tonight. Football was my game. Started out as a Crescentwood Grizzly at the age of 13. I don't remember much from back then, but what I do remember is the moment when football became my game. We started out at defensive line. And a few games into our first season, I remember getting yelled at halftime. Coaches yelling at me, "How is that kid blocking you? You're twice his size. What are you doing?" Coach pulled me aside, looked me in the eye, and said, "Throw that kid out of the way and go out there and get a sack." I listened, did exactly what the coach said, and that was my moment. It felt awesome. Defensive line for one more year, and at 15 moved to middle linebacker, which is what I played for the rest of my football career. Became Pirate football. A lot of fond memories from my time with the Pirates. We always had a game night curfew, but a few of us would end up drinking at center field the night before the game. And that sort of became a tradition with us, curfew or not. I remember that a lot. This year we thought it would be cool to dye our hair blue for game day, which did look really cool, until we sweated. And we had blue dye in our burning our eyes. Everything makes you stronger. Pride in your school, pride in your team, pride in your friends, words to live by. Most of my best friends came from Grand Park football. I still hang out with a dozen guys from the Pirate program, Pirates. I love and miss Coach Gus. Ron Gustafson was the head coach 3 years that I was a Pirate. He made things fun. He was easy to talk to, anything you needed, and he always had your back. until you thought you were the ultimate tackling machine, then he would take a snap himself and run the whole defense without being touched. He sure had some moves for an old man, that was for sure. Lots of drills throughout football. Meat grinder ended up always being my all-time favorite drill. One person in the middle, 3 lines spread out around the circle. Coach would point at one of the lines and that person would get a 5-yard run to try and drop the guy in the middle. I loved being in the middle. It was a very fast-paced drill. Send all 3 lines. I'm ready. Bring it. Well, it was a great game. Personally, for me, it was the fact that I could unload all my frustrations, all my energy on whoever was holding that football. Doing that as violently as I possibly could. And it was all legal. It was just a part of the game, my game. I loved football. With my son's Mason's football, I learned the term pancake. I don't remember pancake ever here. I don't remember ever hearing pancake back in the day, but I would have been the pancake king. In my mind, every tackle should have been a pancake. A violent collision with me on top, pancake. Thank everyone for coming tonight and supporting me. I'd really like to thank my mom for always letting me do everything I ever wanted to do. Special thanks to my lovely wife Jen for all of her love and support and all she has done. Everybody? Very proud.
Right.
I believe we were able to dig deep and find.
Screaming coach is excited about it. He's always calm, cool, collect.
Find his original helmet. Chris?
Chris is gonna use it. It's perfect. Beautiful.
Gotta put this on short setting again. To stand here today in the presence of so many game legends is one of the greatest honors of my life. I'm humbled and grateful, and quite honestly, I'm still trying to believe this moment is real. See all these legends here like Craig Ferentz and Mike Kennedy and Will Turk, and having the 2011 championship team together again one more time is amazing. Let's have a big round of applause for all of them. A big part of my life as long as I can remember. As a kid, I fell in love with the game, playing in the backyards and in Beagle Park. I never imagined that this sport would take me on a journey filled with unforgettable teammates, fierce battles, and life-changing lessons. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee and the Booster Club for this incredible evening. Pam, Robin, Bev, Mary have gone beyond the call of duty to make this evening a reality for us. If we could give them a big round of applause. Also, I believe it's Pam's birthday. She's turning 29 this year, so. To the players and coaches who gave so much to the school, and the hard work and dedication are inspiring. And the 2011 holds a special place in my heart and in the school's history. To be enshrined in the Hall of Fame is the ultimate honor. I appreciate all the people traveling from afar to be here tonight. It is a privilege beyond words to induct the 2011 Vidra champions. Football is the ultimate team game, and I've been blessed to play and learn from some of the very best in my career. And I love football. We love football. We grind it out because it's real life. You have to play when you're hurt or sick. You have to grind it out to the daily practices in the weight room. It's like a job. The best teams are a bunch of nobodies who love everybody and serve anybody and don't care about being somebody. This is why it's one of the most popular sports, and this is why the 2011 team was so successful. To the coaches of Grant Park, thank you for all your hard work and dedication, whether it's adapting to our new program strategies, daily practice, or breakfast at my house on Sundays. You made that team special. Football players want to play for coaches who care about winning as much as they do. Your dedication to this championship team pulled us all together. To the managers, Donna, Bev, can't do it without you. You put in as much time or more than anybody. The United States Marine Corps says it takes 29 people to get one combat Marine ready to fight and to support him. You managers managed to have 48 of us on the field, combat ready. The Marine Corps has nothing on you, I would say. Glenn Dixon, the consummate professional. I can't thank you enough for your support over the years. You've chronicled the Pirates and our game day. You've always been a big part of our team and what makes us special. You're also very good at reminding me that I need to tell you when games are, so I appreciate that, Glenn. Thank you very much, and congratulations to you watching tonight. To the players, you are my brothers. We bled together, we sweat together, we lifted each other when we fell. Every win, every loss, we carried together. We did this. We did this together. Coach Kennedy, it was your vision, calm demeanor, and guidance that kept us going. You led this school to the Vidra Championship, and you will go down as the greatest Pirate in history. My family and my wife, you are my foundation. Thank you for every early morning, every long drive to practice, every word of encouragement, and when things get tough, you're always there when I could use somebody. To the families, you gave us your hearts, you filled the stadiums, you braved the cold, and you roared with every snap. Your energy fueled us more than you'll ever know. You made lunches, drove us to school, washed our dirty football gear. You're just as much a part of this as the players, coaches, and managers. This Hall of Fame induction is not just a reflection of stats, trophies, or highlight reels. It's a celebration of the grind, the sacrifices, the locker room moments, the heartbreak, and the glory. It's about the journey. Tonight you'll enter the Hall of Fame, not just as a Grant Park legend, but as a proud representative of hard work, sacrifice, and dedication. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart. This is forever. Thank you. Coach Kennedy's going to help us present up here. He will hand you your helmet and your certificate. The first player inducted into the 2020 Hall of Fame off the championship team is team captain, the workhorse in the backfield, and the touchdown run that sealed the deal versus Miles Mack. I watch that play at least once a year, pound for pound, one of the greatest football players, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year as well, Jordan Birrell. The next player is captain, was a team captain, Mr. Fix-It, played running back and linebacker. Whenever we needed a guy, he was the man. I'd also like to fix an egregious error I made in 2011. According to the outline, Dustin Kyle-Ellis was rewarded with a minor award. I have since fixed that, and I have got a major award here for Dustin Kyle-Ellis. Please come up, Dustin. Congratulations. That's awesome. The next player, number 80, the piece of the puzzle we needed in the offense. He caught 2 touchdowns in the final to beat Miles Mack and had the miraculous catch in 2011 against Maple in the final seconds to beat them. Matt Kaufmann. The next player, number 66, Quin Kushnir, the defensive end, offensive lineman player. And I feel like he would have been a good friend of Garrett Peters in high school. Next player, number 56, middle linebacker and center, all around great human being. Tyler, you were always fun to talk to. You still give back to school by coaching wrestling. You were the first kid I met at Grant Park. I asked for someone who could play center. You ran up with those awesome sports goggles you used to wear. It was fantastic. Tyler Mckenzie, middle linebacker.
For anyone who wants to know, I was very injury prone and I had to wear goggles because I got a sliver in my eye.
Is Jackson Mitchell still here? Number 64, a very, very, very undersized lineman. But you can't measure heart, and Austin was all that. He was a pleasure to coach. He pulled like a dynamo. You'll see on the slideshow. He picked him in the end zone over and over. Austin Mulvaney-Burak. Also, the last member of the 2011 team I was able to identify. He is a ghost and lives off the grid. Thank you. Number 52, the all-time leading tackler at Grant Park High School, tough as nails, linebacker and fullback, and my favorite guy to talk with it after practice and always tell me we need to be better. Marshall NAylor, number 52, captain. Number 32 was arguably the pound for pound, one of the toughest Pirates in history. Defensive end, tight end, running back. Your game against Dakota epitomized your greatness, whether it was the catches or the blocks. You led us to victory in the semifinal. I still tell stories about how hard you hit and how players need to get the same attitude that you do. Joel North, number 32.
Big congratulations. Appreciate you, Coach. Thanks for having me.
This next young man has a $1 million smile. In the quarterfinal game against Vincent Massey Brandon, I stood in the end zone and he was jumping up and down, yelling at them, "You don't know what's coming." I guess they didn't. It was just a pleasure to coach him. I got to visit with his mother again. She didn't think I remembered her, but I remembered her cussing me out because the marks weren't high enough. I also have always thought about this story Michael told me one day. We were sitting in the weight room and he said to me, "Coach, we need to get some lions and they can chase the running backs and that will get them faster." And I was like, "Mike, don't be ridiculous." But ever since that day, I'm like, a motivational lion would help. Yeah, we have a cow instead. Yeah.
The rest goes how fast.
Yeah, like Ahmed. If you don't use your spin move, you get to spend 5 minutes with Mr. Whiskers, the motivational lion. I don't know, Michael, I've always loved that story, and you're right. Because players do come up to me all the time and they're like, "I need a back plate or bigger shoulder pads," and I think to them, "No, because you'll run slower, it won't hurt." You've changed the program, Michael. Come on up and be inducted. Congratulations. The next player was the man we needed, a reluctant football player, but when he got out there, he killed it. When he stepped in, this team got better every week, and the crushing block you had to get Joel North down the field in the semifinal against Dakota helped pave the way to our field goal victory. Congratulations, number 54, Cole Priestley. Congratulations. I can't say anything that hasn't already been said. Playmaker, leader, inspired. Number 27, Michael Reshaw, captain. Same pose, same smile from high school too. Number 40, just a tough-ass kid. Been a big supporter of this program. He came out and helped coach a couple times. I love him to death. I love the whole family. Number 40, Cody SchenkeveldJust. Congratulations. The next player was a dynamic playmaker. He played with skill and effortless. His route running was incredible. It was admired. Unfortunately, he was injured during the 2011 season. He always had those boyish good looks and that big smile. He was also very difficult to find. His brother didn't even want to tell me where he was. Micheal Schneider, where are you? Number 21 was a defensive back, but he's been one of the biggest Pirate supporters there is. Although he suffered injuries in high school, he never missed a practice. You can see him through the collages that we've made. He played hard and always supported his team, even to this day. He calls me out regularly when I need it. In fact, in 2023, he was coming by and texting me. He's like, JV team seems small, must be something in the program. Pissed me off. We sent both teams to the final that year. I do love him to death. We talk quite frequently. He's a big, big football supporter. Mike Still. Is Yisha here? Phil? Ouch. Okay. Unfortunately, this young man couldn't make it tonight, but I did want to speak about him. Number 4, Damian Suprenant was a captain for the 2011 team. He's also the winningest quarterback in Grant Park history. I could go on, but I did talk to him about this, and I wanted to remind everybody that my favorite story is when I first came to Grant Park. I don't believe people were used to being coached the way I do. And at the end of spring ball, he came up to me and he said to me, "Coach, I appreciate it. I didn't know my name was Jesus Christ." Congratulations, Damian Suprenant. You'll be getting your certificate and everything in the mail. The next guy is a very special young man. I loved watching him play. I loved watching him get mad too. He'd yell at Cole, and Cole's a cool cucumber. He'd go, "Okay." He was the emotional and physical leader of Grant Park. I watched him once block a guy into a guy who made the tackle on Micheal because he was flying backwards. You inspired everyone with your game day focus, and you were legendary. You were also the WHSFL Forrester Award winner and a future Hall of Famer yourself, Matthew Wong. I'll now call the coaches up here. You will receive your certificates at a later date. There was an egregious printing error. We'll see that I didn't print them. The first one up is the man with the plan. Always a pleasure to work with. Kind of yin to my yang. Very calm on the sidelines. Graham Smith, defensive coordinator. Thank you, Coach. The next one is our linebacker coach, a huge Pirate supporter. He goes out of his way to still help the program this day. Steve, we couldn't do it without you. Your guidance during that season kept us going, your toughness. You're also the only coach that will lip me off consistently and take me to task no matter what I'm doing. Coach Steve Silver.
Waited 25 years to get a helmet done. I'm so happy.
That's $40, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
When I came to Grant Park, this coach was my first hire. I knew I needed to improve in some areas. We brought him in. He's true toughness and grit. He would cuss out anybody not wearing a helmet, even if it was 60 degrees outside. He's a true friend. No nonsense. Kid told him that he broke his hand. He said, good, now you can punch him with your fist. His attitude and toughness changed. The 2011 team, after the championship game, he was hit by a car. He then walked back in and said, I was hit by a car. We said, okay. He's like, I'll have another drink. And I was like, okay. He's an incredible man, and I love him to death. Mike Roach. That's been a secret among the few people that were there for almost 15 years.
Sammy's still traumatized.
Oh, let's talk about that later.
Congratulations, thank you. Defensive back coach, very successful lawyer, very calm, always had sunflower seeds for everybody. Very personable. I love talking to him about the sport. Abe Silver, where are you, Abe? If you have any legal problems, Abe is your guy as well.
Don't get legal problems.
They're expensive. This lady was the first no-nonsense manager I've ever met. Her commitment and caring is admirable. I talk about her every year. I still say, Donna wouldn't have put up with that shit. Players would walk in, I need this, and she'd give them the, I don't think so. Donna, we love you. Thank you so much. Congratulations on being in the Hall of Fame. The next one is a pillar of our program, whether it's donations financially or support or game day photos. A person is behind the scenes, but everybody knows who he is. He has chronicled the Grant Park history. Glenn Dixon. Thank you, Glenn. Coach Gabor's still at the Jets game, I believe. I want to tell the story about how every time I give a speech, he then turns around and goes, the same exact speech, word for word, but I guess we'll save that for later. The next one is a behind-the-scenes guy. He was the first director of football operations. He is the man. He's been a tremendous friend and a supporter. Your commitment to Grant Park football is incredible. You made the 2011 team special with your weekly highlight films. Coach Kenneth Yost.
tea every day. Well, I don't actually, I should. Thank you, Mikey.
Our next inductee is a great friend, a great teacher, was a great coach. You helped the 2011 team reach greatness with your calm demeanor and caring and being your support. Coach Patrick Ames. You may be also the tallest coach in Grand Park history.
Mike, stand up. Yeah, thanks.
Congratulations. The next one is our athletic director, speed trainer, consigliere, and he helped talk kids off the ledge more than once. He was a friend, a mentor, a colleague, and whenever he was in trouble, he'd come down and give me 6 compliments and then the bad news. Coach Glenn Bruce.
Hey, speed is life!
This? No. It is. So is football. This is family. And when I was driving here today, I thought about all the people, from the managers to the parents to the coaches to everybody that was part of that team. And it's just incredible that, you know, you're all young men now. We consider you young, but you might consider it to be middle-aged now. And I was in Brandon last summer, and this guy comes up to me. He's banging on my door. I'm trying to have a nap because I got to coach the Wheat Kings right away. And he gets up, he goes, "Coach Bruce, how you doing?" And he's got his son with him. It was Marshall NAylor. And then I realized, you know, these people are grown up, and they're adults now, and they're teaching their children the things that these guys have been doing for decades and decades and just unbelievable, relentless, right? And I want to mention 2 people that are really part of this that I don't know if we mentioned them or not. And one of them is Art Chappelle. And Art Chappelle was the one that came down to see me. He says, "Glenn, we need you on the team." And I said, "I'm just a track guy. I play football because I'm just a track guy." He goes, "No, we need you because we had too many hamstring injuries last year." And that's where it all started from Art Chappelle. So let's give Art Chappelle a big round of applause, please. And then the last story goes to a person I had to go to his office, and I was a little bit disheveled about, I don't know, something that Mike Kennedy said or something that happened, something to do with football. And he said to me, he kind of leaned over in a very quiet manner, he goes, "You know, Mr. Bruce, when I go home at night on my motorcycle, I slow down and I look to my left and I see all these young men, and I'm thinking, what would they be doing if they didn't have football?" And he supported the program every single year, and that's Mr. Imeltchouk. Let's give it a hand for him. Thank you, everybody.
Our next inductee was a manager, always greeted you with a smile. I also felt a lot of players played because of her, hoping to get a chance, maybe get a smile, but not. She was out there, she always made sure the jerseys were ready in the morning. Sarah, where are you? Congratulations. The next is Maria Aiello, a manager whose dedication was incredible. She met me every morning for handing out jerseys, made sure the laundry was done. Her commitment to Pirate football included driving players home. I can't thank you enough, Maria. I'd like to call up these two people together, the first and second best managers in the history of Pirate football. Of course, as it was pointed out on the registration form, the first best would be Bev Plotz, followed by her father, Dean. Dean and Bev have been part of the program now for close to 2 decades. Dean?
And her son's going to be here in 3 years.
Thank you.
You.
A phone, Lynn?
I
Just to mention some people that aren't here tonight, Bob Colt was our junior varsity head coach. He has family in town and couldn't make it. Coach Greenberg is one of the rocks of the program. He's developed so many great Pirates. I'd like to welcome up here our offensive coordinator for the junior varsity team that year, a guy that created so much excitement, Coach Much. Are you here? Yeah. Still? Yes, sir. The football fiend, a great person, always willing to help out. Mike, you're a great coach and a mentor, and you made these guys. Your skill at coaching is incredible. Coach McShane.
Not being weird, I promise. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Finally, the legendary duo. Your commitment and hard work raised a generation of Pirate linemen. I'd like to call out Mike and Ryan Jankowitz. Congratulations. As a token of our appreciation for all his help, guidance, support, we will be honoring Mr. Yale-Chochinov with a team-signed helmet here. If you could come up and collect. We cannot thank you enough for your support of Pirate football over the years. Thank you. That ends the formal ceremony. I'm sure Coach Yost will get the game on. I would like to take this moment here for a big round of applause for Robin and Pam for putting on this evening, and Bev and Mary, and all the support we've got here. It's an incredible evening. We'll do the draws at about 10:30 here. You can sit around, have a drink, watch the hockey game. And please, if you haven't already, please sign the border. Also, there is a Wendell Clark jersey and a Pirate helmet up here. The bidding starts at $200 and get your grand prize tickets.
Finkielsztein.